In this video, I'm going to give you 3 of the best swing tips to make it easier to swing a golf club for beginners. Let's get started. Roland here from Shotbender Golf. If you're new to the game or just need some quick, simple tips to hit the ball better, this video is going to walk you through step by step what you need to do to hit the ball well. Let's get started. So tip number 1 is to keep the structure in the golf swing, okay? So what we want to do throughout the whole swing is really keep the arms very structured. In other words, just keep them as straight as possible throughout the swing, okay? This is going to take a lot of the hand-eye coordination out of the swing. It's going to make it really easy to be a good ball striker day in and day out. So keeping the arm structure just makes the whole golf swing that much easier, okay? Now we're just moving the big muscles in the body rather than trying to time this up perfectly to hit this ball. Where if I'm just keeping those arms structured, I'm going to hit that ball every single time. So when we're playing our best golf, the ball is just in the way of our swing path, right? So if we're keeping our arms structured, right, and we start to swing here, what you'll see is even if I'm not looking at the golf ball, I'm still going to strike it no matter what because the ball's in the swing path, right? And as long as we have a decent setup, we'll hit the ball. So what I find in my lessons a lot is if that left arm starts to bend, it's really just the right arm bending a lot there, okay? So when the right arm bends a lot, that makes the left arm bend, where we just want to keep everything straight there. Okay? All right, so to be clear about this, when we go back there, the right arm can bend a little bit, but we don't want that arm bending to the point where it starts to affect the left arm, all right? So we want to be able to swing back, keeping that left arm completely straight. There will be a little bit of bend, but it's minimal. We never want to be 90 degrees or bend even more than that, all right? We want to have that right arm feeling like we're pushing against the wall here at the top. So a nice little drill here is to stop at the top of the swing and then extend the arms out a little bit and then hit the ball from there, okay? So from this angle there, as we go back, we want to keep those arms straight, right? If you feel like the arms are starting to bend a little bit, go ahead and push. Feel like you're pushing against the wall there. You'll start to get some more structure in your swing, and it'll make it much easier to strike the golf ball. Awesome. So now that we're keeping the arm straight, keeping structure in the swing, tip number 2 would be to turn the hips, shoulders, and have the arms all move in one piece in the backswing. Okay. So turning everything in one piece loads the power, but it's also important in contact and direction. Why? Because that helps our path a lot. Okay. So if I'm here and I don't turn a whole lot, one, it's going to encourage me to bend my arms there, right? So part of the reason people's arms bend is because they're not turning enough in the backswing, okay? So if we go ahead and turn the hips and shoulders in the backswing, you can see I can keep those arms pretty straight there, okay? So turning the hips and shoulders allows more turn, more power being stored in the swing, but it also helps us with our direction. So you can see if my hands are more behind the shoulder there, that's called depth in the backswing, okay? So what depth is, it allows us to get that in to out path that people talk about, all right? So keeping the arms straight, turning the hips, shoulders, and the arms back in the backswing, creating depth. Now we're ready to go. So how can you tell if you're turning enough in the backswing or not? So a good way to check and a nice drill to do is to have your back and your butt face the target. So if I'm facing you and I don't turn my hips and shoulders, just bring my arms back, one, they're going to start to bend, so we're not doing step number 1, right? But also, we're not creating any power here, not any significant power, and we're not creating any depth here, okay? So what I want you to feel is like you're turning your hips and shoulders, and now the back and butt face the target, okay? So from here, if I were just to take my grip and extend out here, this would be a really good backswing, all right? So if I'm facing the target line there, turning the hips and shoulders, now my back and butt face the target, I've created depth, and then the last thing is to make sure there's some arm extension there. Now we're ready to go. If you have any questions or comments, make sure you put them in the comments down below, or if you want to share which one of these tips are your favorite or works the best for you, let us know. Awesome, so now that we're keeping structure in our swing, keeping those arms straight, and we're turning the hips and shoulders effectively, the last tip I would have you do is have all your weight shift to the lead leg, okay? So far too often in my lessons, I see people complete the backswing relatively decently, right? but then on the way down, what they tend to do is hang back on that back foot and then rotate from there. Okay, so what's going to happen when we hang back and rotate from there, we're going to hit the ground or we're going to thin it. Okay. Also, we're not going to get any power into the golf swing. Okay, so think of it this way. I can either slap at the ball with my hands and wrists, or I can use all my body weight into the swing there. So turning in the backswing, keeping the arm structured, then we're going to shift 100% of our weight through the shot to get the power and the contact that we're looking for. So if we make a decent backswing here and then we shift fully to the left side, it's a very powerful movement. It's going to help us with contact, power, and direction. Okay, so if I am making a decent backswing here, but then I'm staying on that right leg and I'm coming across the ball, now I'm swinging out to in. Most people are going to slice it. Unless you square the face as you swing this way, then you're going to hit low hooks. Both of those aren't really what we want to do. So what we want to do is turn the hips and shoulders, keeping the arm straight, and then shift our weight fully to the lead side. When we shift fully to the lead side, now we're swinging more in to out. That's going to help not only with power and direction, but it's going to help us launch the golf ball more effectively. Okay, so without going into too much detail here, swinging in to out allows us to keep some type of loft on the club face. And the longer the club gets, the less loft there is, the more you better swing in to out, or else we're going to either pop it up or hit it really low. So now I'm going to show you what most golfers do. Okay, so what most golfers do, they don't turn very much. They bend the arms and then they turn and swing to the left. Then you're going to start to see it fade off to the right, and it doesn't go very far. Okay, so what I'm going to have you do, and this is a good drill for everyone to do really, is to go ahead and pause at the top. You're going to keep the arms structured and turn, and then shift the weight to the left. Okay. So Butch Harmon would have Tiger Woods do this exact drill in 100-degree heat, all right, for hours on end. Okay, not asking you to do that, but just saying if this drill is good enough for one of the best players in the game, it's probably good enough for us. So if you're working on these 3 steps, go step by step, all right? So make sure the arms are straight, make sure we're turning, and then make sure we're getting all our weight to the left side. And if you follow these 3 steps, I'm sure you're going to be striking the ball much better. So if this video helped you, tap the like button. And if you want to continue to get better at golf, subscribe to the channel, and we'll see you at the next one. Thanks for watching.